A great wee town here. There's a beautiful wee place here that do like fruit and veg, and they're called Greens. Great wee store. They're struggling a bit at the minute. Lisburn's having a big struggle in the town centre. Why? It's been decimated by the councils. Car parking is expensive. It's quite complex why the town centre's died. I believe it's to do with modernisation, the fact that people buy online, etc, etc. So this is Greens. Now, it's one of the oldest wee shops in the place, but it's owned by a building contractor, would you believe? One of people like me. Now, this guy is an absolute pragmatic businessman. I like his business sense. He's a good lad. Now, my daughter happily works here, so I'm going to do this wee shout out to Amy. Amy, here's a wee Greens promo for you, darling. A lot of people think they're dear. I don't agree. I think they produce quality food. They're a bit like a mini Marks and... No. They're like a mini Harrods. It's cold, isn't it? It's a bit of a chill coming down this thing. No wonder why nobody wants to shop here. We want continental Europe, don't we? But anyway, Greens is a great wee store. I would recommend that if you're ever in Lisburn, come and see this place. Here is Lisburn. Now, years ago, I used to own 2 shops here, and I closed them down because of the sheer cost of rates and the council interruption. As you can see, overall, it's a very quiet town now. It literally has, I could probably count them on one hand. Lisburn used to be a really great place to shop, and it's just been destroyed. I do believe it's to do with greed of landlords. Now, this is greed of landlords. I am a landlord myself, but I'm not a commercial landlord. But I know how much it costs to rent a place like this. There's places that are sitting empty, and they would rather have them empty than rent them below price. Now, if it was me and I owned half of the properties here, I can assure you I would have tenants in, no matter the cost. But as you can see, I mean, there's probably, 30 people in the street? 30 people amongst a couple of £1 million of stock. 3, 10, I don't know how many millions of people. I mean, you got the likes of River Island there, CEX there. Now, CEX I was banned from, so we won't be going to CEX to buy my burner phone. They banned me because I said to them, they had a problem with giving me 2 phones. They didn't trust me with 2 phones. So I went, look, I want to buy both phones. Can I have both of them? And they were like, no. So I don't enjoy. I used to compete with CEX. I used to own a big tech company. We used to compete like them. We called it the Tech Exchange, but it didn't last because CEX moved a multi-million-pound store beside mine and ruined my business. So good on them, congratulations for them, but they're still shitheads, to be honest with you. Come on down and we'll have a look. Now, Crema used to have another store. It was brilliant. It was called the Yellow Door. They closed down and they've been replaced by other ones. Again, loads of places are closing. All the banks have gone. All the banks are away. Ulster Bank, Bank of Ireland, they're gone. They're no longer here. I think we still have Danske Bank still at the bottom, but that's about it. Just over there, I used to own a shop, and further down, I used to own another shop. Had to close them purely because there was no government support. Council didn't support the business. Now, Lisburn, to me, was one of the best towns to do shopping in. Great for parking. They closed down the parking because it didn't have planning. The parking was, and the people that made the complaints was the other car park who were charging a fortune for car parking. And as a consequence of that, it closed down all the business on this side of the town. That used to be a jeweller's, that used to be my phone shop. And the barbers are still going, but the business itself has gone to dogs. So if you turn around and have a look at Lisburn now, this is the beautiful town of Lisburn. As you can see, there's really, come on back to me, there's really nothing happening anymore. We're made up of, pound stretchers and bargain shops, and all the real quality shops are gone now. You got loads of coffee shops, tons of them buggers, but H. Samuel's gone, the banks are all closed. You got charity shops, because they don't have to pay rates. Charity shops don't have to pay rates, so they can afford to sit there, and the landlord then doesn't have to pay rates on that. Please guys, 93% of you are not subscribed to my channel. Please subscribe to keep the entertainment coming. Thanks for watching. So I just got my bab cut. This guy that works in here, Oxford Barber, was one of my neighbours in one of the shops I owned. So I used to own a shop up there called Fixaphone. It was the Lisburn store. It was doing quite well. But I remember the last straw for me was I closed it down because I just had enough of retail. There was a lot of people that were quite angry. But he's a great guy. He's a brilliant, brilliant barber. But he was an excellent businessman. He started buying properties and everything like that. This place used to be my old shop. This used to be my old shop. I sold it to guys from Belfast. They were Asian community, they were big into their phones, and I sold to them. Now this phone itself, this phone shop, it's not the way I used to own the phone shop. My phone shop used to have, they are my original glass cabinets, but that's not on my own stock. All that stock, I used to have so many phones in there, but that's all gone. So my Fix-A-Phone used to have 17 shops, but sadly, and then they started putting the bins outside the shop. And then I used to have a sign here, but the council told me to take it away. We constantly got done for it. I'm being met here by the neighbour, so I'll just have a wee chat. You okay to be on film? No, he's camera shy. So we'll cut and I'll say hello to him. So this is Antrim Street of Lisburn. This street used to be a buzzing town, You had the bakery over the road. That was my shop over there, the red one. That was my shop. There was a shop over there, used to be another shop there. They've moved to a Ziggy, now a Sig shop. And that used to be a beautiful jeweller's on the corner. Now, CEX used to be on this street. And then what happened is the council decided in their wisdom that they were going to start putting new floors in, new groundworks put in. So they more or less closed the town off. But were the rates office going to start charging us rent rate? No, they didn't. They charged us full rates, but then we couldn't make any money on the customers. My shop ended up, I was making no money. It was hard even for myself to work. I was absolutely at the bottom of my line of being an entrepreneur. So I gave up. And there was a beautiful opportunity that was great for the town of Lisburn. Go ahead. The town of Lisburn. And this was the car park that used to have so many cars coming and going. There was a beautiful car park here. It was called Jordan's Mill Car Park. And the council, because of the planning bullshit, they said that this was not a legal car park. It was the best car park in the town because people could park here, pay 30 pence for a car park trip to go and get their bits and pieces without the shit on the traffic wardens doing them. Now, as a consequence of this road now is gone. It's dead. This Antrim Street of Lisburn, and it was the hub turn of this town centre. It was the one that created the economy. You know, the councillors didn't see fit to keep this going. We started signing. We had a signatory of all town centre. Everyone was ignored. We were all ignored for the closure of this car park. And why? Because if you come and have a look, over the road you've got Graham's Gardens car park. Now, they were the ones that complained and said that their business was affected and they legally had the right to have planning permission to have that. Now, I agree with that, but these guys should have got planning permission to have this done. And all it is now is wreck and ruin, and there's no economy in it. This is the stupidity of some councillors. This is the stupidity of the government. And as far as I'm concerned, it's places like this that every town centre has a problem with. It's about profiteering. You know, there's money to be made on this guy getting out of his car and then having to pay for it. There's money to be made on that. There's no money to be made for the council this way. And that's why they decided to close it down, because it wasn't profitable for their coffers. But they didn't see the long vision of it. The long vision is that this car park itself would have a hell of a lot more income and would keep the economy going for people to pay rates. But all I see is now buildings being knocked down. They're actually knocking them down. And why are the contractors knocking them down? Because you don't have to pay rates on a building that's basically knocked down. There it is there. That's how you get down to zero rates, is by knocking it down and you've got a ground. It's demolished, therefore that's it. That's what the councillors think short term. That's why I don't vote for these anymore, excuse my language. So I'm just driving at the other side of Lisburn here. As far as I'm concerned, Lisburn has taken a massive dive. This used to be a great square. I don't know if you can see it there. It used to be a brilliant square. All the places are closed down. The whole place is empty. Argos moved out of here and that was it, it closed down. That, as a consequence, restaurants have come, restaurants have gone. It's a terrible scenario. To be honest with you, you know, I feel that the town centre of Lisburn could do a lot better if they opened up the ability to car park, that people could be allowed to park their, so staff cars, you know, the likes of that Jordan Mill I talked about. I'm passing it through again. It's a one-way system as well, which is okay, everything's good that way, but you know, if you opened up Jordan's car park for staff and allowed town centre staff to pay Jordan's car park a fixed amount of money, that would be absolutely brilliant. That would be an excellent idea. That way you can improve parking facilities for staff or for customers, you know. but they don't do it. It seems to be the short-term viewpoint with the councils, where they don't consider how they can bring business to the town centre. They talk about it, but they do nothing. They're not, you know, I've seen them talk about the town centres and all the town centres need to improve. But I know, heart of hearts, all they're doing is they're hoping to slowly grind down the town centres, because it's not where business is. Business is in the outer town, so they don't have to look after it. They don't have to maintain any levels of town centre. There they are, there's the boy, there's your traffic warden making sure that he can make someone's day hard for not seeing the 2 hours that they parked there for. The way I see it is we don't have enough facilities, and as a consequence of that, the town centre suffers. They took the facilities away, or they made the facilities harder to attain, such as getting tickets, having to have cash. You know, they digitized it, a lot of people don't use, the older folk don't use apps, you know, and coinage is getting harder to get, cash is getting harder to get. So the way I see it is the town centre and the privileges that the town centres used to have is being taken away by the very councils that enforce it. It feels like it was intended for that very reason. And as a consequence of it, all town centres are dying. And nobody has a clue. I mean, these are supposed to be wise men that are elected, wise women that are elected, or wise others that are elected. But it just feels that it's absolutely set up for failure, and that people have intelligently worked this out, that that's what they wanted to do, to try and make sure that the economy of a city centre or town centre failed. Maybe I'm talking through my rear end. I tell you what I will do. I'll go and do a big portfolio of videos of different town centres, and I'll establish the facts. Now, the good news is I know every town centre in Northern Ireland, especially the large ones, because I had a shop in every town centre in Northern Ireland, and I was very proud of that fact one time. When I look back retrospectively now, no, I'm not so proud. Anyway, so there it is. Thanks for watching. I know that I'm driving and talking nonsense, but thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll chat to you later.